Welcome back to the Flipped Classroom. For tonight's homework, we are working on a reading passage, and in class we have been talking about the strategies that we use when we are reading a reading passage and answering questions to make sure that we're understanding what the passage is telling us, and of course understanding what the questions are telling us. So the first thing that you want to make sure you do is put your name, number, and date up at the top of the paper. Today is the 21st. And also go ahead and write the word unravel, which reminds us of the strategies that we use when we have a reading passage, up at the top as well. Now in class we have talked about what each one of these letters means, and we have had time to practice using unravel in class, so this should be a little bit of a review for you, but it's still a good opportunity for you to show and share this strategy with your parents. So as you know, the first letter in unravel stands for underline the title. So the title is A Different Kind of Bird. So you'll underline that, and you can move on to N. N in unravel stands for Now Predict the Passage. So I'm kind of going to scan through, just pay attention to bold words or any graphics that they give me, looking on the back. So I'm going to make a prediction that this passage will give me facts about owls, because I do see a picture of an owl here, and as I glance through the passage, I see the word owl repeatedly throughout. Okay, we can move on to the next letter of the passage, the next letter in unravel, which is run and number the paragraphs. Usually if they're numbered for us, we just go through and circle them, but they're not in this case. So you want to go through and number each of the paragraphs all the way through to the end of the passage. You should also be doing this on your own passage along with me. Okay, the next letter in unravel stands for are you reading the questions, and are you circling and underlining important information in the questions. So we'll go through and look at the questions together. If you'll turn to question number 1, and at this point we haven't even started reading the passage yet. Number 1 says, in this passage the word wise means, okay, I want to pay attention to how it's used in this passage because there may be more than one definition for the word wise, but I'm looking for the meaning of that word in the passage. Number 2, what does the word nocturnal mean? Okay, and I probably want to be looking for clues in the text to help me to figure that out. What does the word talons mean? Number 4, the word owlets means. Number 5, about how long, it says about how long is the elf wolf. So this is going to give me some sort of an estimation. It may not be an exact measurement for the owl. If you'll turn over and look at number 6, what happens after? We talked about procedural text today and words that tell us sequence. So after a young owl learns to fly. Number 7, this passage is mostly about. This is a main idea question. So they will give me lots of details, but I want to try to decide what this entire passage is mostly about, not just bits and pieces of it. Question 8, the male owls bring food to the female owls because. Okay, what is the reason why the male owls do that? Number 9, you can tell from the passage that people usually find owls to be, and since it's telling or asking what you know from the passage, this is definitely going to be a question where I need to infer. So use text clues and what you already know about the topic they're asking you to answer that question. Number 10, which is an opinion in this passage, and I know an opinion is what I think or feel about something. Number 11, the author probably wrote this passage in order to, so think about pie. Okay, what was the author's purpose in writing this text? And that's it. So we can cross off both A's. Now at this point I'm going to stop the process of unravel. You know that V stands for venture through the passage and read it to yourself. E stands for eliminate incorrect answers when you go back and look at the questions. And then L stands for let the questions be answered. And one thing that I want to point out is that when you go through and answer your questions, it may be a good idea to put a paragraph number for where you found clues to help you answer that question or where you actually found the answer in the passage. So please make sure that you go through and finish using Unravel, the last 3 letters that we have yet to get to, as you read the passage and finish answering the questions. But this is just a good start to show you and remind you of what strategies you should be using when you're reading a passage for homework or even in class. So have fun, because you've been